Hello, everybody. Welcome to Not Daily Dose of Gaming News and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support and any kind of updates and such, usually regarding live streams. I will go about on Twitter X. Just a quick update on the channel. I still will maintain the free episodes from Midnight Suns per week, so Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've been having a blast recording the episodes, and I'm being able to record some episodes per day almost. If I get a lot of in backlog on recorded episodes and edited episodes, of course, I will probably ramp up a little bit the launching of this series here. But yeah, other than that, I will try also to get around and see if I can manage to get 2 to 3 hour blocks by the end of my day to try and do some streaming, which is being complicated in the last month or so. Yeah, I want to do the NG plus run from Elden Ring. But yeah, basically regarding the channel, this is the updates that I have for the moment. So let's go to the news. We got finally some official pricing from AMD regarding the 9000 series CPUs there. And as you can see, we got pretty much on par with the rumor stuff. I was a little bit worried regarding the rumor regarding the pricing. The lower end, so 9700X and 9600X, they are basically the same price on the rumor mill. But the 9950X and the 9900X, the prices regarding the rumor are a little bit above what the rumor mill was talking about. So around $50 up the above of the rumored prices there. Again, launch date still the same. The lower end, August 8th. So we are basically approaching there. Yeah, tomorrow supposedly. And the higher end is going to be launched on August 15th. Again, there was the stuff, the delay regarding the delay thingy. I think there was some stuff happening, not only mislabeling, but I think there was some stuff happening on the background. I think there was like the first batch was not on par with certain things, and they did the right decision before launching. It's something, again, I usually preface this, it's preferable to delay the launch of a product and recall everything that you have in hand and at least reconfirm, because they changed the methodology there. And after changing the methodology of testing, which is something that I understood that is something usual that happens, they noticed some CPUs were not benchmarking on their own internal quality stuff there, and they basically took the decision of recalling everything, retest all the CPUs there again, and then packet the ones that are approved this new methodology that they have, just go through the channels for the suppliers and everything. So it was not something like Intel. They noticed something, for example, some oxidation and or any kind of degrading regarding the chips. I think everything, we have to take an assumption that everything is it's okay. I think it's only those new methodology testing that they implemented, and they noticed some discrepancies on performance, and they recall everything and retest everything. Basically, that's why you got a delay of 15 days or so. So I don't think it's something that huge or big of a deal in terms of quality of the product itself. It's mainly they just wanted basically to recheck everything to see if it matches or not. But yeah, other than that, again, I have to wait for the reviews of the CPUs. They will come out later by the end of my day, at least from my time zone. I will be watching those reviews, especially from Hardware Unbox and Gamers Nexus for sure. And then I will cover tomorrow the performance to see how good they are comparatively with at least with the launch MSRP, and at least Hardware Unbox also does the current pricing of the available 7000 CPUs there. It's going to be interesting to see how good they handle these CPUs, and not only how cheaper they are in terms of MSRP launch, but also how they behave regarding the market itself at this moment in time. It's going to be interesting here. But yeah, other than that, we got the official pricing, which is good. They are cheaper than the 7000 series, and we need to wait for the reviews there. On the Intel side, They are at this moment in time supposedly evaluating both TSMCs and their own. Again, this is the naming of all the at least Intel when they go about it. Their own process node stuff there, the naming scheme, everything seems to be exactly the same when I cover this, so I get extremely confused in some stuff here, especially with Intel. They don't call it 14 gen, 15 gen, 16 gen. They just call it by their own internal naming scheme, which is a lot of confusing because Arrow Lake got some Nova Lake. Everything is Lake. It's very, very confusing, at least for me. But yeah, they are evaluating the TSMC and their own 14A Foundry process nodes for next gen Nova Lake CPUs. Again, I will assume this is the 16th gen because if not mistaken, the how they call the again, I already forgot the name. Oh my god, the Arrow Lake. I think it's the Arrow Lake thing. It's the 15th gen. I'm not sure. Again, it's all one of those things that I always get confused with, especially with Intel. Um, they don't have like a thing. They should be calling this like when we cover AMD stuff, it says 9,000. At least we got a number so you can have a pinpoint of what they are trying to do here. But yeah, they are still trying to see because they have their own foundries. I think they are going to try for the 2026 launch CPUs, which is I assume 16th gen. They are going to try and see how this goes because on the TSM part of things, they can um, in the packaging. They can do different things that I think at this moment, from what I understand, Intel cannot do that well. From what again, because there is the wafer stuff, but then you got to break up the chips from the wafers and then assemble everything together for the so-called CPU. Everything has to be assembled on the CPU chip big thingy there where you install it calls itself the packaging. But yeah, they are still putting that together because they still have reliance on TSMC process nodes. Yeah, which uses several tiles that can be mixed and matched together. Something that I assume TSMC just do it like this for breakfast. And I think Intel is not on the same level there where they can do all the things together. From what I understand, what Intel foundries can do is manufacture their own chips, let's say, and then they send everything to TSMC to be packaged. I'm not sure if it is how it works, but yeah, they are working on the 2026 launch there. They talk about here that supposedly this 14A process node is expected to deliver 15% higher performance per watt, which is the per watt thing is, let's see how it goes. Because again, I think the main, and I covered this at the time, at least a year ago, when the 14th gen CPUs came out. Basically, the technology is the same, so that uh, there was no big changes there when the 14th gen compared to the 13. They basically just trying to brute force their way out of it by delivering more power. And when you got the situation when the chips are not that good in terms of quality, it reaches a point that the voltage and the wattage and the power delivered there overwhelms the quality, the physical quality of the chip, and you have the degradation happening, which is basically what's happening on 13 and 14 gen, especially when you don't have uh, the bio stuff and what they call the I completely forgot what they are going to launch now in 15, which is the microcode. When you don't have that very well fine tuned and tested out, if it is like a millivolt difference, it can degrade the chip very easy. And you got then when the chip gets physically degraded, you got all the errors that are being popping out, and you got the situation that even locked CPUs and the mainstream CPUs from Intel 13 and 14 gen, they are getting crippled with this kind of errors and degradation, physical degradation. I don't think and the fact that how they are responding and reacting to the situation is not good. But hopefully they are working on getting around these things with the new architecture or some architecture revisions, so they don't have to put their CPUs to get the same kind of performance with the competition, in this case AMD, and to have the same kind of performance, but by needing basically the double of power to be delivered for the same kind of performance, if it makes sense, given that we got the 7000 series and I think it's comparable to the 13, and for even on the 14th gen series, you got for them to do the same kind of work at the same kind of performance. Usually Intel, you just double the power needed to do the same thing, which is trying to brute force their way out of their own architecture and try to deliver the same performance, which is usually not a good, at least in the long term, is not good, because you can only ramp up power delivery to a certain extent on something that small as a CPU chip. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Hopefully everything goes well, because again, I don't like any companies to go under and then we just if you only have AMD to buy chips from, eventually AMD is going to start to do some shenanigans, and by not having a competitor on the market, the consumer gets fucked up. My best case scenario is Intel comes out on top of this in a couple of years at least, and I would like at least one more CPU manufacturer come into the global market to start to enter in the competition between Intel and AMD. I think it's always good to have the more competitors, the better and healthier the market is. Now, on the GPU side, we got NVIDIA, their app. This was covered a few months ago at least, regarding their unifying app, because NVIDIA before you got basically the app for the drivers to install the drivers and have some stuff there with the shadow play. But then for the settings, the proper settings, like you have on Adrenaline version, you got all the tuning, for example, the anti-aliases and all the that little thingies that you have. It was a completely separate app, and it's been like this for years and years and years, for a lot of years. I always remember having two apps to deal with NVIDIA GPUs. But again, they're this kind of new projects all in one app. They've been developing this. This is still in beta phase, but they are integrated little by little, and hopefully this will be at least as a competitive as Adrenaline, as in terms of the functions and how you can do all the proper tuning on the GPU there and all the settings for the graphic settings. I hope they go about and reach that level there, at least at the same level of Adrenaline, because Adrenaline you can tweak a lot of stuff there on the driver level. It's all even they have their own kind of shadow play stuff there and all that jazz. And it seems they going to add now more features. They are taking into account supposedly a lot of feedback from people and clients regarding what they are going to put there and how they are going to be able to interface with the app itself, which is good to see that they are still in beta. I don't think everything is completely migrated from the two apps and in just one app. But yeah, I think that you got a lot of ways of tweaking around stuff there. I think the latest one, the big one, is RTX video enhancements. Again, I don't know. I'm not very in tune with NVIDIA stuff there regarding RTX, but yeah, hopefully this will be little by little at least being integrated and properly integrated, so we have like a unified application for NVIDIA GPUs. I think it's the best way to go about this. On the AMD side, we got the launch a few days ago, at least, the Fluid Motions Frames 2, supposedly stupidly good. Basically, it averaged on doubling the frame rate in most scenarios. Again, from what I understand, FMF2 is not the same thing that FSR3 with frame generation. This is basically for it's aimed for games that cannot support or don't have the FSR free frame generation integration possibilities there. This basically acts outside of that, so you cannot use FSR free frame generation plus FMF2. I don't think it works like that. And this works mainly on the, at least from the driver side. But still, the way they go about it, that again, there are still some issues here with the visual quality issues of HUD elements, like aiming reticles and all that stuff that usually gets that is presented on a HUD. But yeah, yeah, it seems pretty good for what it is at this moment in time, which is trying to deliver older games a little bit better performance there, and doubling down the frame rates there. Even though I don't use any of this, not any kind of upscaling or any kind of frame generation. Again, my case is usually I don't play Call of Duties and all these kind of games or competitive games there, so I don't see the reason to enjoy a game with this kind of technologies here. I'm more than satisfied to playing 4K 60 or around that. Again, my main games that I play, it's Elden Ring or the similars, a lot of turn-based games, so I don't have the need to have 144 hertz or 144 frames all the time in all games. So I prefer even to compromise a little bit here and there on tweaking around some quality settings than to just try to ramp up the with upscalers there, because to a certain extent upscalers in terms of game development is are being used as a crutch to avoid fine tuning the performance of the game, which is not good. We've been seeing a lot of this since this technology was implemented. A lot of people started to use it as a crutch to not develop. Being the last case, Ubisoft, Star Wars Outlaws, we got the PC requirements, and it is a shit show there. Using a 3060 Ti to render the game and at 720 because it's 1080p if you use it with the upscaler, or else you just need to play it with 720p, which is it's not good. 1080p 30 frames, a 3060 is more than capable of playing even recent games at least 1080p, decent graphic settings. It's more than capable. Again, the game is not well optimized, and it seems a shit show by all accounts from the videos that I've been looking. It's not good. But yeah, hopefully for older GPUs, um, I think it's more suitable for older GPUs that can are reaching the limits of like 30 FPS, playing any kind of depending in the independent of the resolution they're playing around. Again, the better the resolution that you play, the best this technology applies, because of the blurring effect of having fake frame rates interpolated with what you're seeing. But yeah, I think this applies better for older GPUs to ramp up a little bit more the frames than other thing. But yeah, my case is not a use case for this. But again, it's always good to see that at least people that have older hardware can take advantage of this kind of technologies for them. It's always good, and it's for free, of course, as long as you have. You can even. I think this can even. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything on the contrary. I'm not sure if you can play this with even older NVIDIA GPUs. I know frame generation can be. I think it's, but I think it needs to be integrated on the game itself. I think this is because driver side. I'm not sure if you can play this on the NVIDIA, but I'm not sure. Correct me on the comments below if you know if that's the case there. And lastly, we got a little bit confirmation regarding Larian. And basically, they again, Baldur's Gate 4. I covered this, I think, yesterday. They started probably working on an expansion, but that then ramped up to a level of production to working on Baldur's Gate 4. But then they scrapped the project there, and they took the best decision to just go their own path. I think it's the best decision they could have made. And yeah, they are basically working on two games. Again, there is no details there, but they are ramping up at least the pre-production. given that they have already around 500 employees, I think they are more than capable of delivering two excellent games. I think they are going to probably focus whole ends on one project so they can ramp up that to a level of production that can be stabilized with half of the studio people, and then they will start working on the second project with the other half of the studio to start up and catch up so they can start a good cycle at least. If these good IPs sell well, at least they have two IPs to juggle with and don't have a lot of distance between launches. I think it's not a bad move, but it's going to take a little bit of time until they come up with the first one. Even though, again, the engine that they use for Baldur's Gate 3, I'm not sure if the same engine they're going to use or the same variation of engine that they're going to use for these two RPGs or the two games, let's say, even though they are more proficient on RPG games. But at least Sven has already set up, since Baldur's Gate 3, he already basically set up a good framework or for the studio to be able to do this kind of two games, working on two games at the same time, which is always good to see. That at least what from the words that are being hearing from them is they already prefer to do have the framework of working on two games. They are able to do that, and having some output there, that they are preparing everything on the background. It's not just throwing themselves out of nowhere and start working on two games and see how it goes. I think again, they know that they are self-published developers, so they have to take things with different kind of approach of waiting that the publisher gives them money to work on a project, and they work on a project and they go on this cycle. They broke the cycle with Baldur's Gate 3, which the rights of that IP is Game Workshop or something like that. I'm not sure, from the D&D community there. But yeah, they took I think the best approach, and given the high quality of the Baldur's Gate 3 and the passion that they have for games, I think they took the best shot there of building their own IP with two games, or probably is going to be two different IPs, so can variate a little bit between launches. I just hope everything goes well with them. And yeah, I still need to play Baldur's Gate 3. One of these days, I will try that game out. But yeah, I still have a lot of catching up to do on the library and older games that I want to play that I missed a chance to play because I didn't have a PC at the time. But yeah, it's good to see that at least we got some good news out of this, all of this mess here. I'm going to wrap up with some gaming deals. We got, again, this is not a recommendation, but if you are one of those people that like to take chances of early access game, I don't recommend you take chances there. But if you're one of those, I recommend probably trying out No Rest for the Wicked. Again, it's an early access game. At this moment, it's 20% off. I think the part that they are going on improving the game and taking the feedback. Again, it's been updated pretty fairly consistently, and so far, again, we're always going to have mixed or mostly positive feedback here because it's not a finished game, so it's not the final word. I think they are improving a lot on this one, but yeah, I don't recommend people going about and doing early access stuff there. But if you like to try out or take a chance, I think this might be a good one. In deals, we got the Thaumaturge. Very positive reviews all around. It's kind of those kind of detective things with turn-based combat there. Isometric story-driven RPG, the best description there. We got also Pacific Drive. It's one of those that I really want to try out. This is the deluxe edition, 40% off. We got also the Meow Meow game, so Stray, 40% off. I don't know what to tell you, this is a mandatory game. We got Jagged Alliance free, 50% off the base game here. We got also Bioshock. I will leave the Bioshock the collection link, which has all three games, the remastered versions of the first two games, Bioshock Infinite, and all the associated with all the free games there. And then we got also Guardians of the Galaxy, 80% off. I think this is might be a pretty good game here for what it is. It's not based on the game on the movies. It's based on the comic book stuff, more in line with that than on the movies side of things. And on GOG, we got Metro franchise bundle 84% off. Again, the free games, given that Metro, the first two games are the Redux version, so graphically enhanced ones, and then Metro Exodus with all the playable DLC. We got Miasma Chronicles around 2 days still on sale, 60% off. We got System Shock, 55% off, and even on GOG, if you're not sure if this game is for you, you got the demo here for the System Shock. And lastly, we got Void Busters. Again, this is a stamp of approval for my part. I did a gameplay series on this one. Yeah, I really do recommend this one, especially at this price point. It's not a very long game. It's got around, you can complete it around about 10 hours. But again, if you're still not sure if this game is for you, you can check out my gameplay series. The first episode, I think, gives you a good run through of what the main game loop is. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I really do recommend, and got my stamp of approval there. And yeah, basically this is it for today. I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon, and the backup. Sorry, the support here is mainly for me to get around and get a better storage solution, so I can back up the stuff that I do for my clients there, and also have extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And yeah, basically this is it for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.